Hey YouTube, how are you and how's the crack? I hope you're enjoying this beautiful sunshine that we're getting here and in the UK, and very nice weather here. Nice to be getting almost 30 degrees at times. Over the last period of a few months, I've been getting a lot of emails from various different people asking about audio settings and configuration and things like that. So I've decided I'm going to do a series of videos on how I've got things done here. Now, I'm not saying, just to make it very clear, you have to go out and get all the stuff I've got here. You don't need to. I just enjoy playing with audio equipment, and that comes from a background where when I was younger, my friends had bands and stuff like that, and I used to enjoy messing around with all that kind of stuff. So it's just something that I'm into. Like, some guys are into data modes or digimodes or whatever you want to call it. Some guys are into SSTV or whatever. It's just another aspect of the hobby that people seem to be enjoying lately. There's quite a few people at it. So what I'm going to do is, in this video, I'm going to give you a quick run through what I have here, and in the subsequent videos then I will break it down into each individual piece and what it does and how to connect it up and stuff like that. So again, it's a guide. I'm not telling you this is what you have to do, nor am I professing to be an expert. I know enough to get by, and let's get on with the show, and we'll show you what we have going on here at my shop. Right, so we'll start with the first thing, which is the microphone, and this is a BM800. I've had this almost 3 years now. I have modified mine in the respect that you normally have to talk into the side. Normally when you buy them, they're side address microphone, and what I did was I turned the element through 90 degrees, so it's end address, and a little hybrid type pop filter. This is mesh and material, so it just helps with the plosive sounds, like those P sounds, and rather than rattling the element of the microphone, they kind of dissipate the that breath sound from going into the element of the microphone. You know, the best way I can describe it to you is if you clamp your fist like that and put it in front of your mouth and say, "Peter picked a pot of pickled peppers," and you'll feel all those plosive sounds going into your hand. So that's the first thing anyway. Cheap microphone. It was like 16 quid or something like that. I think the boom that I have it on was £7 or £8 or something like that. And you can see here I've got it mounted on the wall, which is a solid concrete wall. And the reason for that is that I found that over experience of the last couple of shacks, if you have it mounted here or on your main desk or anything like that, even though there's a shock mount, it's only a cheap shock mount, so any noise that is coming through here can make its way to the microphone if it's bad enough. So that's the mic and the boom. So the next thing I want to talk about is the mixer. I have the mixer sitting here. The only reason I have a mixer here like this is because my other gear, which we'll show you in a minute, is all up here. So if I want to plug in a different microphone or play around with a different microphone, I can just plug that in here rather than trying to get in at the back of this and plug in a microphone. So you'll hear some guys talking about running their receive audio through the mixer. Now, you can do this. If we notice here on this mixer is a Behringer 802, which is quite well used with people on ham radio. It's good in an RF environment and stuff. You'll notice here we have these little pan pots. So basically what that is, it's like your balance. It's you know, left and right for your channels. So you can have your microphones on your left channel, and then you see those ones are panned to the right there. You could have receive audio on those coming from your HF set and your VHF set. I used to have it done like that, but when I changed the shack around, I kind of I didn't bother. And the reason is, if you put your receive audio through your mixer and you start screwing around with the controls here, right, adding in bass and mid and high and stuff like that, the high won't have much effect, but the mid and the bass will. And the problem is that if you do that and somebody asks you for an audio report, a critical audio report, and you start giving them one, you're giving them a critical audio report based on the audio you hear running through the mixer, which you've altered. So it kind of defeats the purpose. You know, it could be, the guys could sound pretty good and you're telling them, oh well, it's got a lot of bass and it's a bit raspy around the top end of the highs and stuff like that. So my advice would be not to do that, not to run your receive audio through the mixer. Just have it on the desk beside you, handy for running, plugging in a second mic really quick if you want to mess around with it. So you see our outputs here. This is going off to my audio interface between this and the radio. We'll talk about that in a later video. And this one here goes off to the PC, just for doing YouTube stuff and things like that. So that's pretty much the size of the mixer. So if we go up to the rack then, on the top you have the preamp there. That's a mic 2200 preamp, and you need one of these, if you know, to boost up the level of your microphone. We'll talk more about that in detail as I go through each individual piece in later videos. This here is a compressor. It's a compressor, a noise gate, a de-esser. It does various other things, and all we're really interested in with it is the compression end of things. So we move on then to this. This is an EX3200. This is a sonic exciter that's designed to work around the low end of your audio, the bottom end, the bass end, and give it a bit of life and make it sound kind of good, you know. So that's that. I'll go over this side. This is the first compressor I had, and I don't use it anymore. This here, the DSP-1124P, or feedback destroyer as it's known, this is I'm using this as a fully parametric equalizer. I can adjust the bandwidth, I can adjust the frequency, so we'll cover that in a separate video as well. The top one then is the Virtualizer Pro, the DSP-2024P, and all I have this doing is adding a very small amount of reverb to the audio to give it a bit of air. Now there is a unit that they do, it's a DEQ 2496, and that will do this job and this job all in one. But be warned, it's not very easy to set up and get everything the way you want it. It takes a bit of time. All of this stuff takes a bit of time to get used to. So that's pretty much the ins and outs of it, in terms of the rack gear and the mixer and the mic and whatnot. So I suppose the other thing to talk about then is cable. Like I use this, if the camera will focus, it's Star Quad. It's Mini Tour Grade Classic. This is kind of the recommended stuff to use in the environment that we're operating with RF and stuff like that. So it's quite good cable. It's easy to get on eBay. It's about 125 sterling a meter or something like that. Good stuff. So all XLR connectors on the end of this, where it comes into the mixer, and on the end of the microphone. With these interconnects on these, you have two choices. You can use XLR or you can use 3/4 inch jack plugs like what I have here, and mine are connected together with those because it's cheaper to do. The XLRs are a bit overkill. They're designed for where this stuff is going to be like in a music environment, in a pub or a, you know, a concert or something like that, and there's people walking by and the cables are exposed at the rear, and the XLR stuff kind of it clicks in there good and tight and it locks. So that's the main reason. The XLR ins and outs and the 3/4 inch jacks and all this kind of stuff, they're all fully balanced anyway, and you know, you'll get away with using the 3/4 inch ones. So there you have it. So what we'll do in the next few videos is we'll cover the preamp and we'll cover the compressor, and then I'll do a couple of optional videos about the EX-3200 and this lad up here, the 20, what is he? He is the 2024P, and then we'll talk about the EQ as well. So there you have it. That's where we'll leave this video for now. I don't want it to be too long, so there will be some changes going on here with my audio stuff in the very near future, but we'll keep that for a later date. So give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video. If you're new here, to be sure to subscribe, and if there's anything in detail you'd want me to show you, be sure to let me know. So there you are. I'll get you all again very soon. This is George, EI 7 Kilo Oscar. Bye bye.